Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity of Chautauqua. I am Reverend Barbara Williams, and it is delightful to have you here. This is our 41st year at Chautauqua, and I would like us to begin by singing our welcome song. So if you would stand and sing along. To Chautauqua. We are at Chautauqua Institution for the summer, and this Sunday, we have 2 more Sundays after this, and then we'll be back online on Zoom and on YouTube. So let's begin with prayer. And so we honor that great love that we call God, and the way that it invites us to live and move in us, through us, as us, in these moments and in every moment. Our soul is welcomed through every situation, through every step we take. The invitation is for us to be that light, that welcome to ourselves, to this moment, to each other. And for saying yes to this moment, to bringing our love, awareness, attention into the space so that we may create together this experience of so welcoming. We say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen and amen. And we say this every week, and the invitation has always been to take it to a deeper level, to allow the words to move in and through us with not only a head, but a heart knowing that there's one presence and one power in that universe and in our lives, And the thought I've had about it, every week I sit with this line to think about how it changes my life. And the times when I take my attention away from what's bothering me and I bring it back to knowing there's love in the situation. I don't know what it is yet. I don't have to know, but there's a presence and power that moves in and through me and that will change the situation when I surrender to it. And what I find is instead of being angry about what's going out here, I start loving it. And so as we say that, just say that with the intention that it's just not words, it's a way of life. So together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. And so omnipotence, all power. It's the all power for us all. So just a couple announcements. Unity, we call that a positive path for spiritual living. And my experience that I wrote down here is that when I found Unity in the 70s, it opened my mind, it touched my heart, and it really transformed my life. And I am just so grateful for that. So we say it's a positive, practical, progressive approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayers. And of course, my favorite thing about Unity is that we honor the universal truths in all religions. So, how do you get to, we record our services, and we have a whole wonderful set of services, including when we're not here at Chautauqua, and they are at our, through YouTube, but you can get it through our website. So, it's a combination of Unity's Worldwide website and Chautauqua's website. So, Chautauqua is chq.org, Unity is unity.org, and we are unitychq.org. So you can find several years back of Sunday experiences, and we'll start again this coming year. And you're at the service, so you know that we're here in the Hall of Missions. We have, as I said, 2 more Sundays after this. And then a meditation every morning from 8 to 8:30 right in here. And then a very special thing, one of my favorites, is on Wednesday, we are going to do the 5 pillars of unity with Reverend James Stacey. And I'd like James to come up now. And I'm going to read some of your background because...
Oh, no.
Yeah. So James has had a long experience, like I have with Unity, in many, many places. In Kansas City, you were there, and I don't know, was that your home? That's your hometown, Kansas City, where Unity Worldwide is. It's an amazing place to visit, Unity Village, and you've had that experience. I only got to live there for a few years, but you had years of that. And you also said New York State, Central Missouri, and now you're in Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis, so that is where your church is. And not only that, he calls himself a Chautauquan because James has taken it under his umbrella of loving unity and loving Chautauqua to connect with lots and lots of different people here promoting unity. So he's all over the place. It always just humbles me that, well, it does, that you have gone out of your way to connect with the LGBT community here. You have gone with the president, you write letters, you have inspired me, and you've also, why we have free daily words over there is because of you. As well as all sorts, he's always answering my questions. He's been at Chautauqua much longer than me, and helps me with the rope. So I just want to honor that I'm going to call you the ambassador over Unity.
I haven't had that title before.
Yeah, it's your new title. So you will be doing a Wednesday evening in the Turner Center, which is North Bus. Bring your, if you are staying on here, you have to have your gate pass because it's actually considered outside. It's a community center, open to the community, so it's outside of Chautauqua, even though it's on the bus route. So would you like to say a few things about the 5 pillars?
Very simply, the 5 pillars is a concept that Unity field ministers all over the country developed in 2022. So it's fairly new. But the idea is, it is the foundation for our Unity ministries all over the world. And so I'm going to offer it in two ways. One, for someone new to Unity, it's a great way to know what our foundational teachings are. And then for those of us that have been in Unity a long time, working here at Chautauqua or whatever, it gives us a chance to kind of check on our foundation for the work we've committed to do within Unity. Are we really well grounded in what Unity is all about? And it's an exciting program. So I hope it meets everyone who chooses to attend, a newcomer to Unity or someone like us that's been around since the 70s.
70s.
I started 76. So.
Yeah. Oh, you beat me, 79.
Oh.
So, but it changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
It changed. I was in a dark place, and I heard the words I needed to hear.
There you go.
So, thank you, James. So we are going to sing ourselves into. I've been singing this, by the way, all morning. I was so glad Janine agreed to do this morning. So this is our musician, Janine, and I decided that a miracle happened that she's here.
It is a miracle. So your part is up there on the wall. It's pretty simple. You'll see when we get to the chorus, right? You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is found in every gift
beautiful song. I'm going to be singing that all day because it tunes in and reminds me. I was looking over here at this wonderful carving on the wall from the creation story. And in the ancient Jewish tradition, that divine voice, because that's how I took that. It's the divine voice within us, singing, "You will do amazing things. I have created you to do amazing things." And in Judaism, they called it, that inner voice, the Bafkol. The Bafkol. That means the daughter of the voice that spoke creation into being. Or I think of it as an echo that's still within all of us, because we're all created by the infinite. And when we're still, and that's the value of prayer and meditation, is simply the stillness and quiet to hear that inner divine voice that's saying, amazing, you will do amazing things. That's why we're here. That's what it's all about. That's why I love, this should be my 15th visit to Chautauqua. I started in 2004 at the invitation of Joanne Webb. And so I'm halfway through the 40-year anniversary, and I'm very grateful for that, because when I come to Chautauqua, I have this opportunity for silent, quiet, inner centering. And then I begin to hear that voice speaking in me. And as my powerful mentor, Reverend Dr. Joan Brown Campbell, used to say, don't just believe, behold. Behold. See God. See God active in everything. In the beginning, in Unity, our founder, Charles Fillmore, was in a small gathering, 6 people. So we outnumber that gathering he had in 1891 in the parlor of his home. He and his wife and 4 other supporters. And after they came out of the silence, their meditation together, Charles said, unity will be the name of our work. That's when he captured that idea. And he said, the unity of spirit. And my interpretation and understanding, I claim it, mine, is that Charles said unity because we wanted to behold the activity of God in all people, in all communities. Not just in those communities we feel a part of, but all communities. Because it's all God, as the author Walter Starkey wrote in his book. It's all God. And so coming to Chautauqua, being able to hear people that are not directly part of my religious tradition, speaking the same truth, but in their way, is such a blessing. Last year, over in the Hall of Philosophy, Rabbi Rami Shapiro was here and led us in a chant. And I went home and had a calligrapher write it out for me and gift it to people that come to my church. And it said, I am alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Who is this aliveness that I am? Who is this aliveness that I am? But the Holy Blessed One. He himself likes to call rather than God, Lord, Adonai. He likes to refer to the divine as aliveness. Aliveness. So, let me get to my subject. I came and wanted to speak on wow, world of wonders. My congregation has gotten used to the fact that I usually end prayers in our services now with wow rather than amen, because to me it gives me this feeling of uplift, openness, to declare over and over again, and especially with a religious intention or a prayer. I don't know about you, but just saying that word opens my heart. Let's practice it a moment. We're among friends. Just speak with me. Wow.
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 Wow. Wow.
Just that sense of how blessed we are to live in this world, to live with one another, and here this week to be on these holy grounds where people have captured in so many ways what I believe our president coined the phrase to explore the very best in humanity through the arts, education, religion, recreation, exploration. Eric Butterworth, our beloved Unity minister and author who led the ministry in New York City for so many years until he moved on in 2003. He wrote, "Faith is expectancy. You do not receive what you want." This gets worse. "You do not receive what you pray for, not even what you say you have faith in." Whoa, Eric. "You will always receive what you actually expect." You receive what you expect. So if we see this world as a wonderful, awesome, amazing, we are preparing to receive wonderful, awesome, amazing things. So this morning I'm asking you, what do you expect? Later today, later this week, take a few moments to be still, to be silent, to turn off the TV, the internet, all these outer activities, wonderful as they are, but discover the wonder of you, and just ask, what do I expect of myself, of life, of God? Eric loved to challenge us with making shocking statements and then turning them around. I just love that. We don't get what we pray for, what we affirm. We get what we expect. There's an old saying in Unity, be careful what you pray for, you may get it. Or from the Taoist inspiration of Lao Tzu, if you do not change the direction you may end up where you are headed. And then I mentioned earlier today to one of you, before Eric Butterworth, a wonderful woman originally from England, Georgiana Tree West, led a very vibrant Unity ministry in the 1940s and 50s in New York City. And she had a wonderful statement I always remember. Where is the train of your thought headed? Where is the train of your thought headed? Because it's going to get you there. And so I like to think, for me, this idea of wow opens me up to expect good things, possible things. This morning in our opening statements and our affirmation, there is but one presence and one power. We set the course. My congregation, most Unity congregations, use that statement in their service. And it's setting our intention, our expectation of good of God. We have the statement, unity is a positive path for spiritual living. But it sometimes hurts my heart because I believe we have, I won't just blame it on visitors, we have good long-time Unity people that hear that positive path, that hear me say, wow, what is your expectancy? And think that we're all just about happy talk in unity. Remember that song in the musical South Pacific? Happy talk, happy talk, happy talk. No. For me, that positive path that we speak of comes from our founders, who were very practical, pragmatic people. In their day, many of the people that came to Unity had great difficulties, especially during the Great Depression. They heard this. They didn't talk over it. They said there is a positive path, not in the sense of happy or Minnesota nice, as we say where I come from, but there is a way to move forward, whatever your circumstance is. And I like to call it wow. Not just a silly word, but to recognize whatever circumstance I find myself in, there is a way forward. There is a way that leads to healing, to wholeness, to possibility. And we call that positive. And so perhaps sometimes I dwell on it or talk about it too much, just because I want to counterbalance people that come into our Unity ministries and might think we're just very surface. Just talk about nice things. And so, as I came this weekend and arrived at the grounds, and while I was traveling, I was thinking, how do I present this lesson in a way that is appropriate to our week, to our times? We've all heard these catastrophic fires in Hawaii. We've been living a year and a half with the war in Ukraine. I arrive on August 12th at Chautauqua, the year anniversary of the stabbing of Salman Rushdie here on our grounds. I just missed the experience by days last year. By the time I got home, I heard what had happened, called Barbara. To recognize the pain, the suffering that humanity is going through, we have to be very clear about our positive path, our affirming statements. When we end our service with a prayer of protection, even though it's not in the original prayer, many congregations add the final line, and all is well, and all is well. And I've seen people leave Unity services in tears because they're having a hard time in their life, difficult situations, perhaps illness, challenges of any kind. And they walk away and say, I can't believe those people just asked me to say all is well, because it isn't. But when we make a statement like all is well, or my wow, it is to set our intention to see God, good, possibility in every situation. There's an old Buddhist statement. I find God in my health. I find God in my illness. That's something you probably wouldn't hear in Unity too often. But yet, with omnipresence, our statement of being, in our prayer for protection, wherever we are, God is, we've just said, God is in everything. So if we're finding a struggle in any way in our life, our families, our community, our world, I believe we should look for the wow, the good. The Fillmore said, look for God in it, look for good in it. A more modern spiritual teacher, Fred Rogers, in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, had a wonderful way he would tell the children when they're scared, when they're unsure, when they're afraid, look for the helpers. Do you hear me? Look for the helpers. And he'd teach them to watch in their world for the teachers, first responders, healthcare professionals, those that were always there to help. Look for them. Look for the helpers. Myrtle Fillmore wrote a reflection more than a century ago, and I have it in a beautiful card form on the table as you leave. I invite you to take one. It was called The Search. And in it contains this statement Myrtle wrote, I am thine all possibility. I am thine all possibility. She continued, I would dwell in the gloriousness of thine omnipresent companionship. I would always be still enough to hear thy voice instead of the confusion and clamor of the senses. I would know and not assume. I would truly live and not exist. Her writing's much longer than that, so I invite you to take that. But I think she was creating for herself. That was written for her own spiritual unfoldment. So I like to call it was Myrtle's wow. Imagining what she was as God's creation. And in Unity, there's an old affirmation I really like to push. And it's what you know for yourself, you must know for others. And I add, or you miss the point. So when we know the all possibility of God within our life, we know that must be true of other people. Otherwise, what will we have? A very egotistical and most likely harmful idea, because we would be saying, I am special. Remember the church lady on Saturday Night Live? I am special. I guess that makes me a little more special than you, Barbara. So that constant idea of affirming the wow factor in ourselves and at the same time knowing it in Janine, in Anna, in Kelly. We must, or we build up foolishly our egocentric self. So Myrtle laid this groundwork for us. Here's another historic and powerful example of showing up. We've all heard the story in different details of Helen Keller. Helen Keller, at 19 months old, due to illness, lost sight, hearing. She was not old enough to have learned speech. And so she had every good reason, most people would think, to give up, to not even try. But somehow her little soul believed in possibility. It must have, or she would not have built the life that she built. Born in Alabama in 1880, Chautauqua was just getting underway. She went through this loss of her senses. Eventually, an extraordinary teacher, Anne Sullivan, came on the scene and taught Helen, language, including reading and writing. And now we get to the really amazing facts. I love history, many of you know that. She attended Radcliffe College of Harvard University and became the first deaf-blind person in the United States to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree. She was named one of Time magazine's 100 most important people of the 20th century. She worked for the American Foundation of the Blind from 1924 until 1968. During this time, she toured the United States, traveled to 35 countries around the globe, advocating for those with vision loss. She was also a great author, writing 14 books, hundreds of speeches and essays on topics ranging from animals to Gandhi. I would say she not only had great expectations, she also had that wow factor. And think of it, she not only wowed herself, challenged herself, accomplished amazing things, but she became a wow factor to others that saw what she accomplished because of her expectations of life, that she could. I suspect she heard that divine voice, that daughter of the voice of creation, that Bath hole within her soul that said, amazing. You will do amazing things. I like to say our very presence in this world is testimony, proof of God's love for us. How we were brought into being, given a life to explore, a life story to unfold. What a wow idea. And now while we're on these holy grounds, these beautiful grounds of Chautauqua, what a good place to explore that wow for ourselves. Our meditation in a few moments is also printed on another card back here on the table so that you can not just remember the words, but you can take them with you and work with them. It's supposedly an ancient prayer that goes back and was originally written in Sanskrit. The Theosophist Annie Besant in the late 19th century translated it into English, and then I did a few little minor modifications myself. She used the term ethers, which we don't use in common language anymore. So I altered it slightly. But the idea behind it, spiritual leaders like Rudolf Steiner said the prayer opens our I am, our higher self, the very essence of our existence. This prayer helps to open it. And you know why? Because it takes the metaphor of the beautiful world we live in. It says more radiant than the sun. And I like to remind people, just ask yourself sometime in reflection. You get excited about a beautiful sunrise over Chautauqua Lake. Perhaps you've traveled to great mountains and you're amazed. They open this sense of wow. But do you look at your own existence in the same way? You look in the mirror and say, Kelly, wow, you're amazing. And I'm serious about this. You, as God's creation, are as amazing, beautiful, extraordinary, powerful, creative as every sunset you see, every mountain, every beautiful setting or talent on display here at Chautauqua. Your very creation is equal to that. So that's why I'm going to lead us into this meditation, because it's giving you images of the sun, of the mountaintop experience, and helping you realize you're as wonderful. You are as big a wow to God as anything in this creation. And I'm afraid some of us have learned to downplay ourselves, to not give appropriate attention to the wonder that God created in you. Now that is not to give you a big head, as they used to say when I was a child. Oh, you won't be able to get through the door. Your ego will be so huge. Not when you see it in the fullness of truth. Of all God created, even to this very hour, you are also special, powerful. And I believe we should acknowledge that for ourselves and for others. If you hold that kind of expectancy for yourself and others, every gathering you walk into, even here at Chautauqua, that expectancy of wow, of wonder, of potential good, think what a prescription that will be for your health, for your mental well-being, for your feeling life of emotion, to carry this sense of wow. So let's take a moment and turn our attention within and rather than my just talking about it, I want you to see this experience. Not only see it, create it for yourself, and you can practice this. So let's turn our attention within. Close your eyes if you choose, or half closed. Just become comfortable. You are turning to the invisible side of life, not isolated in your soul. You are seeing the Spirit in action in yourself, in everyone at Chautauqua, in all the miraculous experiences we share on these sacred grounds. To turn within is to turn to the essential truth of a person, a place, a circumstance. And so I invite you to take a breath. A deep breath and let it go. Just to put your body at ease so that it doesn't draw all your attention. That you can move to the very center of your existence. And hear this verse, and then we'll go into it more deeply. More radiant than the sun in its noontime glory, purer than the untouched snow on the mountain peak, more subtle than the essence of material matter is the self, the spirit within my heart. I am that self. That self am I. More radiant than the sun that shines upon this earth is your higher self, because it brings radiance to your spirit, to your soul of thinking, feeling, and willing. Yourself is more radiant than the sun because it shines, it permeates, it empowers your very existence. All you do, all you will ever do, all that you are as God's good creation. Purer than the untouched snow on the mountain peak. The higher self of you, the wow of you, has not, nor ever will be, damaged by your experience in this earthly life. There's an inner purity, like that mountaintop snow. More subtle than the essence of material matter. Your higher self is finer, more essential than even atomic matter. It is beyond the material. It is existence itself. It is God silently, stillly declaring wow as your existence. For you are amazing. And you will do amazing things. So we rest in this truth. We give thanks and praise our existence because we are God's good creation. Worthy of praise, worthy of gratitude, worthy of joy, worthy of that uplifting feeling of wow, I am a part of a world of wonders. And as you're ready, I invite you to gently allow your attention to return to this room in which we're gathered, the activities of this day. But this transition from our inner experience to our outer activities is a delicate one, and we should always affirm, be convinced that in the silence, healing has been initiated. Wholeness and unity has been regained, affirmed once again at the very core of our being. So as we close this prayer, let me gently say, wow. Wow for you. Wow for me. Wow for Chautauqua. That's my expectancy. That's what I choose to look for. And let our attention fully return. And I'll just conclude my time by saying a wonderful lesson another Chautauquan taught me. My mother. I remember sitting in this room years ago. She said, I've heard about Chautauqua all my life. And I'm finally here at 89. She was able to come several years until her passing. She loved it here. After her passing, I took one of her favorite bracelets and buried it under a tree down by the bell tower. She loved it down there by the pier. But I bring her up because she taught me a wonderful lesson, a wow lesson. I said, Mother, how did you and Dad, born in the First World War, facing and living through the Great Depression. And they had their challenges I won't go into. And then World War II. I said, how did you do it? I'm not sure. I've had life easy. I'm not sure I could have. And she said, well, it's simple. I knew whatever I had to face, whatever I had to go through, God would always give me whatever I needed. Encourage, strength, conviction to get through it. And to me, that is the positive path that Unity proclaims. God will give us what we need. Jesus called it the daily bread. All that you need for your life to be full and whole. I'm not saying easy. I'm not saying free of challenges. But you will have what you need. And to me, that is wow. May your day, may your week, may your life be your special expression of wow, a world of wonders. And our daily word today is excitement. And the second sentence is, we live in a world of wonders. Thank you, Daily Word. They always seem to be there when I need them. Thank you for the privilege of being with you today and experiencing Chautauqua, all of its wows with you.
So let's seal that with a song. There is so much magnificence
back here. I'm just moving in that space of wow. So thank you for being part of that, because we understand that we all create that energy. And so this is the time of our offering. And in Unity, many churches follow a very similar offertory blessing, which is to honor the fact that our gifts have come to us and come through us and continue to bless as we become an open channel. So would you say this together? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I receive, and and I am grateful. I was jumping ahead. And so sing with us as we